Y'all, I tried 14 new recipes in the month of February. We're ranking my favorite to my least favorite. Let's go. Starting off strong, and these are in no particular order. Probably in the order that I cooked them for the most part. But we're gonna go ahead and get started. We're gonna start with the recipe that I printed off from a website. And remember, I will have every recipe and even links to the cookbooks that I'm using in the description box down below. What is a month? What is a month without an Ina recipe? I'm telling you, I've been going strong every month for the last several months with an Ina recipe, and this month, February, was no different. So starting off, we made the Barefoot Contessa marinated steak. Now this steak consists of it used a flank steak, okay, but hold on, I have a note for that. A dry white wine. Now let me just pause right here. Anytime that a recipe calls for wine, okay, I will use like the grocery store cooking wine. I'm not going out to the store and buying wine. I'm not a wine, like, I don't drink like that, okay? But to each his own. If you want to use wine in your recipe, baby, by all means. I just don't drink anymore like that, but I will use like a cooking wine for my recipes. Okay, let's continue. It calls for olive oil, Dijon mustard, black pepper, shallots, garlic minced, and tarragon leaves. Now, first of all, this is easy recipe. I think this is really beginner friendly. If I can remember the episode and season that this came on, that this is from, I will link it down below as well. But it's very easy. You just marinated the steak, which, okay, it calls for a flank steak. And I thought last month when I ordered my groceries, I ordered a flank steak. I did not order a flank steak. I indeed ordered a flat iron steak, okay? Flat iron steak, you heard that correct. But I'm glad I did, because when I cooked it, it was really good. Like, you know, for a cheaper cut of steak, it was really, really good. That marinade was just really good. I think anything with wine and just like fresh herbs and garlic, it's always going to be a win in my book. So I rate this a 5 out of 5 spoons, you guys. I loved it. And if you saw my if you saw my grocery haul, I am using my stickers. Okay, moving on. Another Ina recipe. This is the Skillet roasted chicken and potatoes. This is from her Modern Comfort cookbook. Just like what the title says, it's a chicken and potatoes that is you have like that white wine and Dijon mustard herb type of flavor profile. I thought this was really good. Very easy for those nights that you're kind of busy. It kind of comes together pretty quickly. You do have to marinate the chicken in like buttermilk for like 4 hours. I always do my marinades overnight, but I thought this was really good, and I rated it a 5 out of 5 spoons. This is probably one of my favorite recipes that I've made, and honestly, I've made this for the past maybe 2, maybe going on 3 months. Y'all, it's the one pan creamy lentils Japanese sweet potatoes plus kale. It's a very long title, but it packs a punch. I saw this recipe on Pinterest, and as I always mention, my goal, my personal fitness goals or wellness goals, I would say, is making sure that I have enough electrolytes every single day. Making sure that I am hitting my protein, but also my fiber. Okay, fiber is like one of those things that we miss, like America. Is that percentage is really, really high of how many Americans don't eat fiber. And since I seen that study, I said, no, we will be people who have fiber. Okay, so this recipe with those lentils, you're packing in that protein and the fiber, and it's so yummy. I don't know what it is. It's just like simple stuff, but I really like the oregano. It has like oregano in it, garlic powder, onion powder, black pepper, and red pepper flakes. You have bone broth or chicken broth, lentils, kale, heavy cream, and lemon. I'm telling you, I made this about at least 4 times for like lunch, and even my child, He likes it. My teenager, he likes it too. And my son used to be really, really picky. Okay, like I cook a lot, you guys, and for all, like, if anybody was ever wondering, like, my son used to be really picky, but slowly and surely he's been open to trying new things. And I really feel like just like family style dining and just eating together helps promote you know, your children wanting to eat and try new things. I know that for a fact. I come from early childhood education where we instill family style dining in our, you know, programs, and yeah, they are a little bit more open to trying things. So this one, y'all, I will continue to make this. This recipe is from Gathered Nutrition, and I'm rating it a 5 out of 5 spoons. The next recipe is this crispy gnocchi with sausage and broccoli. This comes from the New York Times Cooking, and this is by, I think it's Ali or Ali Slagle. I don't know, I'm probably mispronouncing that, but it's a very simple dish. Like if you just needed to whip something up really quick, this is it. It just calls for gnocchi, fresh broccoli, olive oil, garlic cloves, salt, red pepper. You can use hot or sweet Italian sausage. I end up using ground beef because not everybody likes like Italian sausage. Blasphemy, I don't know. And Parmesan and lemon. This is not bad, okay? Maybe because I use ground beef and you don't have those flavors of the Italian sausage, that it just wasn't, you know, and it's crazy because it was rated really high, and I'm like, okay. When I saw it, I was like, oh yeah, we're gonna make this. But then when I looked at the ingredients, and I was like, Jasmine, girl, this is really basic. But I was like, I'm not gonna judge a book by its cover, because this last recipe looks really basic, but it was really good. No, I think for me, it needs a sauce. Like it just wasn't enough on its own, but it wasn't bad. So for me, I'm going to rate this actually a 3 out of 5 stars. Would I make it again? No. Okay, now I have 2 from the Half Baked Harvest website. So this one is the creamy sun-dried tomato and lasagna soup. Okay, y'all, this is the last of my soups for this season because I cannot deal with soups anymore. But I will say this one was really good. But watch this, you guys. Last month I made the Magnolia. Okay, Joanna Gaines has a bow tie pasta. I believe it's in the first cookbook in volume 1. We love that one, right? Why, when I took a bite of this, that's exactly where this took me, was back to the bow tie pasta. And then when I thought about it and compared and contrasted, I'm like, wait a minute, this is like the exact same flavor profile, except for the bow tie pasta calls for anchovies, and this does not call for anchovies, but it's pretty much the same flavor profile. We did enjoy this. We will make it again. One thing that I do like about I think her name is Tegan. One thing I do like about Tegan's recipes is that she provides crock pot instructions and stovetop. So if you are a busy person, okay, I'm gonna say busy mom, but I know not everybody here is a mom or a woman, okay? But if you're busy and you need that like crock pot meal, make sure you check out her recipes, because for the most part of all the recipes that I've tried for her, it does include crockpot instructions. So definitely check that out. I made mine on a stovetop. I don't even have my crockpot available, and I probably wouldn't even use it because I prefer to use my Dutch oven, but that's just me. 5 out of 5 spoons for the crockpot creamy sun-dried tomato lasagna soup. Moving on to the healthier slow cooker creamy tortellini vegetable soup. I like this one. I felt like I just didn't love it, again, because I'm just not in this. It's not soup season. Not for me. it's not soup season. Like, I want freshness. I want like salsas. I want grilled meats, things like that. You know, I don't want soup. Maybe where you're at, it's still a little cold, a little bit cool. I'm in New Mexico, it's starting to get warm. No, give me the grilled foods, give me the salsas, all that stuff. But I will say it was really it was really good. It came together pretty easy. It does call for some like chopping of like onion and garlic, but you know what, today you can just buy that stuff at the store if that's not something that you're interested in doing. I did like the texture of the soup and the like against like you have the veggies and then you have the creaminess of the tortellini. I did add in Italian sausage to mine. Nobody noticed. When it's like sausage, Italian sausage by itself, nobody likes it. Or like on top of pizzas where you can see it. But when it's mixed in with other flavors, I don't be knowing. Okay, so this one, again, it has the slow cooker recipe. It has the slow cooker instructions. It has the instant pot instructions and the stovetop instructions. So a little something for everybody. What do I rate this? A 5 out of 5 spoons. I will make this again in the fall. So now for some desserts, okay? I made this strawberry cake. I said, hey, I've been seeing this like viral. It was like on TikTok going viral, the like old strawberry cake recipe that you use like the white cake and like jello, yada yada yada. So I found a recipe by Paula Deen online, and it's the same. So I made my cake in a bundt pan. Now I would say for my size of bundt pan, which I don't know what size it is, I probably needed 2 cake mixes to like fill it up. But that's just what I chose to do. I didn't want to do like frosting or anything like that. Make this again, not very often because it's not the best ingredients, right? When you're using the strawberry gelatin, but it is good. It's a nice little treat, you know, when you want something good. I feel like this would be really good to take for like a, do people still do that? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe old churches, like a church like picnic or something like that. I would probably take this. Now listen, I'm looking at this frosting and it calls for, you know, your standard cream cheese frosting, butter, and 1 8-ounce package of cream cheese, strawberry extract, and then it calls for 7 cups of confectioner sugar. Listen, as for me in my house, we are not eating 7 cups of sugar. I just feel like that's a little diabolical. Okay, for me, it's diabolical. I don't want all that sugar. So when I make frostings, I usually just do about 1.5 to 2 cups. I don't do no more than 2 cups, and it's sweet, but it's not like that overly sweet. Like, it's just like the right amount of sweet between the balance of the cake and the frosting. But if you want to go ahead with 7 cups, to each his own. But just if you use this recipe, just like be mindful. It's better to, you know, add the sugar and it taste it little by little. Like, it's easier to just add more than to take away. So I would be cautious if you make this the traditional way with like cake and frosting. But I would rate this a 5 out of 5 spoons. And I'm making 2 cookie recipes in the month of February, which was not on purpose, but hey. But this one was the brown butter toffee chocolate chip cookies. That is by Tessa Arias, I believe this is her name. And again, I think I mentioned this last month. I'm kind of working my way, or just kind of selecting different recipes that I find on Lily P. Crumbs or Alex Lily P. Crumbs blog, where she has like the best chocolate chip cookies in her opinion. And I've been really curious to see, you know, the different techniques. A lot of the recipes are very similar, but the technique is different. And so that's just really been like my focus, of just trying new techniques and just having fun in the kitchen. So this brown butter toffee chocolate chip cookies, I will say my only kind of, I guess, complaint or con about this recipe for me was that the toffee did not come together. And if I like back reverse engineer it, I think it could have been my butter. I think more than likely it was my butter. I think if I was to try it again, honestly, I would not even use her recipe for toffee. Making toffee reminded me that I already knew how to make toffee. I just hadn't done it in years. I used to make like a toffee popcorn for like snacks, or you know, to give away, or from like my guests when they would come over. So I would make like a toffee popcorn, and I forgot about it. So, you know, all is not lost. All wasn't lost in making that recipe, because like I said, I was reminded like, hey, you used to do this, girl. So I would just use my original recipe for toffee and make my own homemade toffee, because it's fun. You can opt to just buy toffee. I mean, it's not that hard, but honestly, I really like this recipe. It was really good. I'm kind of getting over the brown butter. I'm like, baby, this brown butter, we got a brown butter all the time. Do we have the brown butter all the time? It's good, yes, but I'm kind of getting tired of it. Now, okay, this was really unique because I hadn't seen a recipe like this. She does use bread flour in her cookies. Or everything else is generally like the same ingredients that I would find in any traditional recipe, but I liked it. Would I make it again? Possibly. I don't know. I just want to kind of explore my options and see what else is out there. But I would rate it a 4 out of 5 stars, just because you do have like that 24-hour wait. She recommends you know, when you make the cookie dough, let it rest for 24 hours. And can I say something for people? It just doesn't make any sense to me when recipes say like chill the dough and then scoop it the next day. I'm not hurting my wrist scooping out dough the next day. Me, I like to go ahead and scoop the dough, put it on the tray or put it in a container or whatever, and then refrigerate it. It just make it make sense. Like, I get it, you don't want to overwork the gluten and stuff. I think it's just why. So just because of the like overall experience, I'm going to rate this a 4 out of 5. But honestly, out of the two cookie recipes that I tried in the month of February, this one was my favorite. So hey, moving on to our cookbooks, you guys, my son always has to make a recipe. We try to do weekly, but sometimes it doesn't always fall like that, but he has to cook. And so he chose to make a recipe again from his Bob's Burgers cookbook, and this one was the onion ring around the rosemary burger. So it calls for like a burger, your standard hamburger, but and like from like fresh ground beef, and you make the patties. Now this was a little bit different because it has like apple pieces in it, and so I think it calls for diced apples, and we just took the large grater and grated the apples. It gets a little messy, but it got the job done. It calls for fresh marjoram. I cannot find fresh marjoram in my area, or marjoram. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that properly. I can't find it in my area, but they did have dried. And you make these rosemary infused onion rings, and those were delicious. Those onion rings, they were so yummy. Oh my gosh. So, but this burger, of all the burgers that we've tried thus far, the onion ring around the rosemary burger, that one was so good. I think it's the uniqueness of what the apple brings, just like a little bit of sweetness and freshness, and I like the texture that it adds into the burger. That was so good. It was so yummy. So I will make that one again, but because it's like a fry, it has that fried element into it, it's not something that we will make often, but I thought for what it was and what it is, it's my favorite. I personally rate this one a 5 out of 5 spoons. Moving right along, again working from the Magnolia, I'm sorry, my angle changed. Sonic Boom, okay, from the Magnolia Table cookbook. Y'all, this is probably one of my favorite cookbooks. Magnolia, her cookbooks, I'm always like cooking in them. Okay. Oh, so last month I made the King Ranch chicken like casserole, and I also made the jicama salad that she recommends. Now let's get into the jicama salad. I actually really like this. I did not plan on making it, but I just felt like, let me just try it. Let me just try it and see. I really love this one, and I think I will definitely make this one again, especially with it being summer. I just feel like that's going to be, I don't know if jicama is found in the summer. I think so, but I'm not sure. But I love this. I feel like this is a great like summer salad, maybe something simple that you could probably take to like a barbecue or cookout, whatever. But I really like that. This particular salad calls for jicama, and jicama is like, because I know some people are like, what is jicama, girl? It's a root vegetable, but it's it has a texture like an apple or like a pear. It's not sweet. It's not sweet at all, but it has this nice like appley kind of like texture. Okay, and so this one has the jicama. It has limes, zest of limes. It has fresh cilantro, cayenne peppers, smoked paprika, salt, avocados, and minced chives. I love this thing. This was so, I could have ate this all by itself, and I did. And it was so good. Okay, now for the king ranch chicken. If I make this recipe again, which I might, I have to tweak this recipe, and I'm thankful that I'm actually I'm like going through and doing the recipe as is, because if you guys were to try it, then you know what to do. My only kind of gripe about this, I felt like it calls for too much liquid, like, and I knew it as soon because I put in all the beans and everything. It has like a whole bunch of beans, salsas. Oh wait, I have something to say about that. It has beans, salsa, you have your cream of soup, chicken soup, you have your chicken, and when I went to go put in the broth, I was like, it doesn't need the broth, like it just needs it. But I was like, let me just make it as is. I thought, to me, it was just like too liquidy, and I did not like that. Now, one of these, I'm pretty sure it was a salsa, because everything else we eat green chilies often, because I make like green chili bagels and breads. I feel like I use green chili enchiladas, but one of the sauces, like I think the salsa verde, one of them, because I had two different ones, that thing had a little kick to it. It was a little it was a little spicy. I don't know which one it was. I wish I knew so I could tell you. But if you're going to make this for somebody who has like baby mouth and they can't handle spice, just keep in mind that, you know, with the salsa verde, it could, or tomatillo sauce, it could get a little spicy. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Another thing I did not like was the corn tortillas cut in strips. I didn't like that texture. So if I was to make it again, I would treat this like my green chili, sour cream green chili chicken enchiladas, where I take the tortilla and lightly fry it, like, you know, just so it has a little bit of structure to it, because when you come in with the heaviness of that like sauce and stuff, it just it's not, if you're a textural person, you may not like that. But it was a good flavor profile, easy to make, but I did just those two things. It did not need the chicken broth, in my opinion, and it also, I would fry the tortillas and just leave them whole and just have a casserole like that. So I rate this, the king ranch chicken, I rated a 3 out of 5 spoons. The jicama salad, I rated a 4 out of 5. Last but not least, it's not a monthly rating without a little sweet little dessert. And I think, you guys, pretty much every recipe that I've tried thus far, I have enjoyed it. Lemon poppy sweet rolls. Now I just posted this on my, I think, Instagram. I think it was like a short video. No, it wasn't a short video. It was like photos. It was on my Instagram and my TikTok. So if you're not following me there, you missed it. But this was just what you think it is. It's a take on a cinnamon rolls, but using the flavors of lemon and poppy seed. Using the flavor profile of lemon and poppy seeds. This is very easy, like your standard traditional cinnamon roll. You have that baking and you have that rising where you have to wait for the dough to rise. So if that's something you're not into, I mean, it's part of making cinnamon rolls, my dear, or sweet rolls in this case. So but I thought it was easy. I make cinnamon rolls pretty often, so this was just a new spin on it. Okay, so here's one thing that I noticed just for my own, like I said, I make cinnamon rolls, and so one thing that I noticed that I would tweak moving forward is for the lemon filling. Now the lemon filling calls for like lemon zest and granulated sugar, which you kind of really infuse the lemon zest into the sugar just by rubbing it together. But it calls for a half a stick of butter, which I feel like it needs probably about a stick and a half of butter. I know that's a lot, but when I make my cinnamon rolls, I like to mix the sugar and the butter together. I know a lot of people online like spread the butter and then they sprinkle the sugar on top. Very weird, but no. I make mine into a paste and then spread it and then roll up my dough. So I would add more butter just so that it spreads evenly, because this little half a stick of butter, that ain't doing nothing, baby. So, but other than that, I liked it. I like the texture of the poppy seeds in the dough. I like the lemon profile. It's perfect for this type of weather that we're having in the summer months. So I would rate this a 4 out of 5. Is it my absolute favorite? No, but it is good. So I'm glad that I tried it. This one is not necessarily a new recipe, but because I tried this in the individual cookie, but then I tried it as you know, just like making a batch of them, and I don't know what the difference was, but I liked it more as an individual cookie. I don't know what the difference was, but members of my family loved this one. Like, okay, going back to the brown butter cookie recipe, some members of my family like this cookie more. They said it's more tender. It's a much more softer and tender cookie, which with the brown butter cookie, it was a little bit more crispy. And I baked them both the same pan and everything. Again, it's just different techniques, but some people like this one. I like the brown butter one better. Who would have thought? But it's not bad, but I don't know. I can't tell you. I like this one does have that soft cookie taste, but I don't know. I liked it as the individual better. I will rate it 3 out of 5. I don't it's not my favorite like cookie recipe, but it's not bad either. So the best chocolate chip cookie in the world, not in my opinion. It's not. So our last recipe for the month of February, and this one's a good one. Okay, this was the lemon olive oil cake. Until this day, until last month, let me show you, and I will have my own pictures on the screen because I know the light is probably like washing it out. Until I made this recipe, I never had tried a olive oil cake, but now it's opened up my imagination to so many different flavor combinations and profiles that I would like to try in the future. But this one for sure I will make again. Okay, if I was going somewhere and I was feeling fancy, I would make this. If we were going somewhere, I definitely would make this. And it's simple, easy cake. Oh, I do have one thing to comment on this, because this, she says a 1 9-inch cake. You need, for this cake, I wouldn't bake this in a 9-inch cake. I would not bake this in a 9-inch cake pan. I would bake this in a 10-inch or maybe a 12-inch. You know, at least a 10-inch. I would bake this in a 10-inch and then preferably a springform pan, because I have a 9-inch cake pan And when I tell you that thing runneth over, and I knew it was going to run over because it was like right there. It was not giving that cake any room to rise. And it does have leaveners in it. It does have baking powder and baking soda in it. So I said, oh no, this doesn't work for that. You need a springform pan. And it doesn't mention it in the recipe. It says a 9-inch round cake pan. No, baby, you need a cheesecake pan, springform pan, or you need a bigger pan, because this makes the filling itself it's gonna be right there above. I don't know, maybe not all 9-inch cake pans. I mean, they're not all cake pans are built the same. They're built different, but I would suggest, from somebody who has made it, move up to the 10-inch or even a bigger pan, and it'll work out good for you. Okay, but back to the cake. This was one of my favorite recipes that I made last month, and I absolutely adore it. It's very light. It has a very like soft and tender crumb. It's perfect. It's not too sweet. I feel like it's one that the kids will like and the adults will like, especially the adults. Like if you were going to like a tea party or like a baby shower, you need this cake. This was so yummy. I am definitely making this again. I just have to plan it out, you know, because I ain't trying to use up all my good olive oil. You know what I mean? And you want a good olive oil for this. So just find one that you like, and it's probably gonna be a little bit pricier. My suggestion, if you're like on a tighter budget, is go to TJ Maxx or like Marshall's Home Goods. I know people think it's weird, but honestly sometimes they have like really good products and ingredients there that you can find. So just look for a good olive oil. For me, I would define a good olive oil as one that does not have any additive olives, and one that is preferably made in one country. So I like to get more Italian olive oils, and I even get mine from Walmart. But again, you can find a good olive oil. My stomach is growling. You can find a good olive oil in like TJ Maxx, Home Goods, Marshalls, and they're usually pretty affordable, $7.99 and probably up, just depending on the size that you get. But it's a little bit more affordable than in the grocery stores. So y'all, that is it for my ratings and my recipes for the month of February. I cannot wait to try out the recipes that we have for the month of March. So if you miss my monthly meal plan and what I'm going to be cooking in the month of March, make sure that you go and check out that video, as well as my grocery haul that I did just about a week ago. You can check out my monthly grocery haul, where I share all of the groceries that I have for the entire month, and a little bit than some. So if you guys like this video and like videos like this, make sure you hit me. Don't hit me, baby. Make sure you hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. And you guys connect with me on, dare I say, TikTok, because what's happening, we don't know. But I mean, for the last remaining days, if it goes in that direction, you can connect with me on TikTok, or you can connect with me on Instagram, and I would love to have you there as well. So until next time, you guys stay blessed, and I will see you in the next video.